why I don't celebrate Christmas as a believer in Jesus. I'm 26 years old, and about 4 years ago, I stopped celebrating Christmas. You know, growing up, we've realized, and I've realized that we have traditions that have been handed down throughout our generations that are not according to the ways of God. And just in mainstream Christianity, you know, there's different things we've inherited that are like, we look at it and we're like, hey, wait a sec, is that actually what God wants? Or am I just doing this out of repetition because my dad and my mom did it, my grandma and grandpa did it, or the people around me are doing it? And so I have two reasons for you that I do not celebrate Christmas as a lover of my bridegroom, Jesus, Yeshua. Number one, it's got nothing to do with Jesus. Newsflash, sorry to wake you up, but Christmas has nothing to do with Jesus. You can do your own research. I'm not going to go into it in this video, but if you look into it, it has pagan elements that are not according to the ways of God. And actually, we as believers, multiple times in the scriptures, Deuteronomy, Leviticus, 1 Peter, Matthew 6, we're called to not do as the nations do. Those outside of the community of God, those who are not God's people, but we're called to be set apart. You know, Jesus said in Matthew 6, be perfect or holy just as I'm holy. And that word perfect there is the Greek word teleos, which means mature. And so we're called to be mature, and we're called to know his heart, just as a bride knows the heart of her bridegroom, right? And as two people will get married and husband and wife in that relationship, it's like the desire of both parties is for them to know their desire. I've heard it explained that love is knowing the desire of someone before they even know it. And it's like, whoa, that's huge, right? But doesn't that make you want to know our Father's desire, right? Like as Jesus is approaching, as his coming is soon, as he will establish his kingdom, shouldn't we be a people set apart unto him, that are not engulfed in the ways of the world, that are not engulfed in the traditions of man? We're called to know his desire. Ephesians 4 says, you know what the will of him is. Know what his will is. And that Greek word is desire. That can also be translated desire. So we're called to know his desire. And he's laid out his desires in his word. So first reason is it's got nothing to do with Jesus. It's not something that was ordained by him or created by him. And it's not even a neutral holiday where it's like, well, you know, it's not really, you know, what he said, but it's not really bad. It's not even that. It's actually pagan. It is wrong. It's not good. And he tells us what's good, and he tells us what's right. He's given us his ways. And it's like, I didn't know that growing up. You know, I just did what everybody else did around me. I just did what my church did. I just did, you know, what I kind of grew up doing. But guys, we're called to really to be critical thinkers and to dig into his word and to know what his desire is. And so that's the first reason, is that it's got nothing to do with Jesus. And I think there's a reason why we have to keep saying, you know, remember the reason for the season, or keep Christ in Christmas. Let me just put this thought out there to you. Consider this. If we have to push so hard for it, do you think it's because it was never about him in the first place? Let that sink in. I mean, just consider this thought. If we have to, you know, always try to remember him in it and push for it, maybe it's because it's not even about him. The second reason that I don't celebrate Christmas is because I've found something better. Not that I'm anything or anything like that, but I've come to just an understanding of his holidays, the days that he's set out, which are really, really awesome. And it's really changed me. And I've encountered him so much during these times. You know, there's 7 holidays, and holiday is like holy day, right? So there's 7 days that God has set apart, which are pretty much date nights with the Father. It's pretty much a date night between the bride and the bridegroom. And Christmas is where we've set the date. we've set the date for Christmas. December 25th. This is the date that we're going to celebrate Jesus. That we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do this. And his holidays, which he's set out in his word, is him coming to us. It's the bridegroom. It's the gentleman pursuing the bride, saying, "Hey, I've already made the date night. Come, let me speak to you. Let me give you revelation." So I've gotten a lot of just awesome revelation during the times of the feast days and intimacy. I've had just incredible experiences that have just some of the like one of the most painful times of my life. God just used one of the feast days, one of his holidays, just to speak to me in an incredible way during that time. So yeah, those are the two reasons. Number one, because it's got nothing to do with Jesus. Number two, because I've been able to discover something better. And I thank you for watching this. I encourage you to just dig into his word and seek him.